r/Nosleep. Posted by you/yourdeathinmyhands. If you hear a marching band playing at midnight, don't move. So this just happened to me last night. I live with my mom, but I was left alone last night at her house because apparently, her mother, my grandma, died. We were devastated by this news because we were very close to her and she always visited us whenever she had free time. She always brought us food which she made, which was delicious by the way. And she always supported us. I also wanted to go to her funeral, but I wasn't able to as I was currently very busy because of my school projects, paperworks and exams. So I was left alone last night, and I will never forget what happened to me. It was about 11 p.m. and I was still awake in my room finishing my project that was needed to be submitted the next day. I was really tired and my eyes already started to give up, so I decided to take a quick rest and laid in my bed and browsed Reddit, but I suddenly fell asleep. I woke up to a sound that felt like a low drum roll. Not very far but within my earshot. I shrugged it off because I was very tired and I thought my mind was just playing tricks on me. And I quickly realized that I screwed up and I needed to quickly finish my project. I was about to begin when I heard it again, the drum roll. But this time, it was getting near. I was starting to get scared because it sounded just only a block away from where our house was located. The sound was getting really close and by now I was certain that what I'm hearing is a drum roll, but I also noticed another set of sound, trumpets. I checked my phone and it said 2:37 a.m. What the fuck? A marching band at this hour? I thought to myself. By this time, the drum rolls and the trumpets sounded really close, like it was just outside of our house. I was starting to get really scared and started to panic. I did not even know what to do. The loud sound of drums made my heart beat really fast, like it was trying to escape from my chest. Beads of cold sweat started dripping from my forehead. My mind started to go blank, so I did something that I will regret. I slowly crept towards the window. Every step I make made my heartbeat go faster and louder than before. I slowly pulled up the blinds, but only a small amount so that I can see what is happening outside. And then I saw them. There were about 30 people outside slowly marching. Half of them were playing drums and half were playing trumpets. The street lights made me see that they were all wearing black suits. I found it odd, especially they all have the same size and the same build and they were just looking straight. There was also something about the way they moved that made them look inhuman, like they were something else. I was observing them thoroughly, but they suddenly stopped. All of them at the same time. And they all turned to me. I could see their whole features. They all looked the same and with the same black eyes, and I mean their whole eye was black, staring at me, like they were staring at my soul. I fell down and almost pissed myself. I was so shocked by their sudden movement that my whole body was shaking. It suddenly went so quiet that I could hear my breathing and how loud my heartbeat was. I started moving backwards to my bed, but my body can only move so slow, like it refused to obey me. Once I reached my bed, I covered myself with my blanket and curled my body. I couldn't make any noise, I couldn't even move my body anymore. A sudden noise almost made me jump. It was still the marching band, but there were no drums, only trumpets. It sounded like the tune they play at funerals. The sound continued about a minute and stopped. Continued by the sound of drums so loud, like they were trying to kill me using only the sound. I closed my eyes and I might have passed out from shock because I woke up with the smell of bacon and eggs. My mom was in the kitchen and I quickly ran to her and cried, and I told her everything. She told me maybe I was just dreaming and it was just my imagination. But I know it's not, because I found something in the mailbox that is maybe connected to what happened last night. A black envelope. I quickly opened it and my whole body went weak as I read the 2 words written in gold inscribed on the black paper inside it. He's coming. Next story of this video. Posted by you/already awesome. Don't visit haunted cemeteries at midnight, just don't. It's 6 a.m. where I live, and I'm terrified. I've been up the whole morning, and just now as I'm seeing a few, albeit weak rays of sunlight, I'm starting to feel more comfortable in my house. I need to start off by saying that there has been a stalker walking around my house for a while. I know, why couldn't I just take my gun and threaten him and force him off my property? Well, he isn't human. Yes fucking way. I'll tell you how it started, and get you up to date on what's going on now. Me and my friends almost a week ago were hanging out. We actually met up at Taco Bell to talk about what's been up and seeing how the day goes. We eventually decide to watch a movie, and do so. But still, we're gonna stay awake all night and party, or I'd do something, sleep maybe? I can barely stay up that long. Despite these discrepancies in our plans for the night, we end up doing something ridiculous, and what I seriously regret doing. We end up going to a haunted cemetery. This cemetery is fucking old, and when getting there at 1 AM in the morning makes it a very hellish type of scary. At first, we were all a bit hyped. It wasn't the nerves getting on us, it was the atmosphere, the feeling of danger. Of course, in my mentally tired state, I couldn't really manage to deduce what it was, and really actually thought at first it was the former. We messed around to say the least, and we soon got bored. It was at this point that we decided to hold a contest. We'd break out a lantern in the middle of the cemetery, and each of us would break out in different sides of the cemetery by ourselves. Whoever could stand out in the pitch blackness the longest would be the winner. Smart, right? So we did. I ended up walking towards the rear of the cemetery while my two other friends walked towards the sides. We were all expecting to be creeped out and then running back, but it didn't really end up that way. We all had nerves of steel and we just stood there. I was standing out there for maybe 5 minutes when all of a sudden I hear a rustling in the woods. I tense, wondering who it was. I was betting it was my friends. Them trying to make me change my pants, but no. I peer over the gate beyond the cemetery and this figure rises. A black outline, tall and thin. Very much like what you'd say Slenderman would look like, but instead of a suit, I guess. I don't know how to explain it. His skin was moving, rippling, in fact, like something you'd see with moving water. Instead of a blank face, he had my own. That's when I freaked out and ran. I screamed and ran towards the entrance. I jumped into my car, locked the doors, and started. As I look outside the car one final time, I'm not seeing the figure, but I see that my friends left. We all drove our own cars, and mine was the only one in the parking lot. Those fuckers. I raced back to town always checking my rear view. At this point, I would stay inside a store or something, but I don't live near any 24-hour stores, and so I'd have to go directly home. I was smart, I knew going home would be a bad idea, but it was my only option. I sure as hell didn't want to get stuck where I didn't have a gun with me. I woke up the next day and tried to reach my friends. I asked them what happened last night. They said that a man who was the guard of the cemetery was telling them to get the fuck out. I honestly don't know what the hell that means, but whatever it is, I'm more confused than ever. Now that again, was just a few days ago. Now I've been waking up frequently in the middle of the night, around 1 to 2 AM, and looking out the window. To see the same figure standing outside. His shifting skin changing colors, his face now is an absolute black, a void in space, and sometimes I can sense it chuckling, entertained by my fear. He doesn't do much however, just stands. After 6, he disappears, either walks or fades away. I know it's some sort of supernatural entity, but I don't know exactly, and I'm afraid of messing with this any further. One thing is for certain though, I'm going to talk to that guard, maybe he knows something about this.